I've got multiple structures completely damaged and down.
Yeah, the house is completely destroyed.
Then all of a sudden, things just started swirling.
There's nothing left. I mean, our neighborhood is gone.
We had 6 that were deceased.
Chaos, panic, and devastation. Tornadoes wreak havoc across North Texas.
The latest on the search for those still missing and the long road to recovery for the region is our top story on the news at 6.
Now, the most watched news in the Panhandle. News Channel 10 News at 6.
At least 6 people are dead and more than 100 homes damaged or destroyed after last night's series of tornadoes around the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
An entire neighborhood in the town of Granbury was leveled by the at least 10 tornadoes that brought winds of up to 200 miles an hour. Emergency responders are still looking for missing people this evening. A Wood County commissioner says homes were ripped from foundations while others were reduced to rubble. And of course, that means a long road of rebuilding ahead. News Channel 10's Leslie Aguilar spoke with several North Texas residents today. She joins us now live in the News Center with more. Leslie?
Stacy, 2 of the people I spoke with today are Amarillo natives now living in Granbury. Granbury is a close-knit town much smaller than Amarillo. It's just south of Fort Worth. The tornado that ripped through that neighborhood was an EF3 with winds up to 200 miles an hour, according to the National Weather Service. First responders have been at work since late last night and are still searching for 7 missing people. Former Amarillo resident Jennifer Boyd says the entire town is still in shock, but grateful for their emergency crews who saved a lot of lives.
We were listening to the scanner on my iPhone, and they were just to try to see where the storm was. And they were just unbelievable, getting things coordinated, trying to help as many people as they could and get to people as fast as they could.
I've been told by several North Texas residents that Granbury has more than enough perishable food, clothing, and water donations to cover those displaced. But if you'd like to donate cash, you can call 1-877-TEXAS-11 until 6:30 tonight. That's a fund set up by our CBS affiliate in Dallas. And of course, we'll have more information on ways you can help on newschannel10.com. Live in the News Center, Leslie Aguilar, News Channel 10.
Utility officials say about 1/4 of the nearly 15,000 homes and businesses that lost electricity in the storms are still without power. Dallas-based Encore had over 14,000 customers without power as crews worked to restore service. The rest were customers of United Cooperative Services, which reports more than 100 utility poles were toppled by the severe weather. Those without power have dwindled to about 3,500 this evening, and efforts are ongoing to restore full power.
Well, the Panhandle is no stranger to tornadoes. Fortunately, we have a much less dramatic forecast in our area. Let's join Storm Track 10 meteorologist Alan Gwynn live in the Storm Track Center for our first look at the supercast. Hey there, Alan.
Hey there. Yeah, you know what? We have potential. We're in parts of Tornado Alley, but one of the key ingredients to what happened last night was something we didn't have in place here as the storm system was moving through, and those are the dew points and the humidity. Let's get to the maps and I'll show you what I'm talking about right here. Now, here we are looking at dew points. Now, this is how much water vapor is in the air. The higher the dew point, the better the fuel supply for these showers and thunderstorms, and the more volatile the atmosphere gets. And if you look down there around Waco and Dallas, a 69-degree dew points. That's extremely soupy air. That's like rocket fuel for thunderstorms, and that's what those supercell thunderstorms had to work with. But you look at us, and we have 30 and 45-degree dew points out there, and that's why we didn't have near the instability in place for those thunderstorms to work with. But there's times of the year that does happen, and we'll check that out in a second. Right now, we have very calm weather. In fact, we're looking at that big storm system continuing to move off towards the Mississippi Valley. That's located right there, but it's the high pressure over the top of us that's going to shield us from any thunderstorms here over the next couple of days. But we're in the month of May. We have had tornadoes of our own in this month that have been nearly as bad as that.
And Alan, we talk about these devastating situations, and we talk about how they can really come out of nowhere. And I know one of those situations we're looking at now, a tornado in 1947, listed as the 4th deadliest in Texas history, killing 68 in the Panhandle. But there was more damage in Oklahoma.
Well, that's right. That thunderstorm actually dropped that tornado just north of White Deer. It wiped out Glacier and Higgins in the northeast panhandle, went on to hit Woodward, Oklahoma, and killed at least 101 people in Woodward that day. And then the tornado continued on up into southern parts of Kansas. So a very devastating event. And like I said, it just goes to show you that it can happen here, just not within the next few days.
Okay, thanks so much, Alan. Well, the mayor of one of the two hardest hit towns has declared a local disaster. Claiborne Mayor Scott Kane early today announcing the disaster designation due to the widespread loss of property in the community of about 30,000. Kane says none of that town's residents died or were seriously hurt, and only 7 suffered minor injuries.
For the past 11 years, this has been my neighborhood. The school that you were looking at, Girard Elementary, is where both of my children went to grade school. A lot of my friends that I went to school with, their children go there. So it's a very, very close-knit community, and it strikes home really hard as I see them coming out and they're seeing the damages that we've been dealing with for the last 12 plus hours.
The Cleburne Independent School District called off classes today, and several schools have tornado damage. The National Weather Service has rated the tornado, which hit Cleburne, as an EF3, packing gusts of 135 to 165 miles per hour.
And in the town where all 6 fatalities took place, a large nonprofit group is already organizing donations for recovery. Mission Granbury Incorporated has said the group will be helped by churches in the community. 2 of those churches have also set up shelters for those who lost their homes to the tornadoes. The Red Cross is also providing tornado recovery assistance. Meanwhile, the sheriff of Hood County, where Granbury is located, spoke today on the ongoing precautions being taken during the aftermath.
Not until we know that we've covered all the bases, made sure everybody's out of there and everybody's safe. And it's a safe environment, because we've had propane tanks leaking, things of that nature. So not until we know it's a safe environment to allow people to go back in.
Deeds estimates there are at least 7 people still missing. In addition to the 6 people killed in the town, about 50 were taken to a Granbury hospital, where 14 were admitted for treatment of injuries and 2 were transferred to a hospital in Fort Worth.
The Habitat for Humanity in Hood County is also feeling the devastating effects of those tornadoes in Granbury last night. News Channel 10's Emily Griffin joining us now live in the studio with more on how that group has been impacted and how you can help. Emily?
Stacey, of the more than 100 homes that were wiped out by the tornadoes, 61 of them were Habitat for Humanity homes. Already, the Habitat for Humanity of Texas and International have sent disaster response teams to the Granbury area to assist those families assess the damage and hopefully rebuild. The Amarillo branch is also reaching out to help those families by accepting monetary donations. Officials locally say it's still too early to send other resources to the affected area because they're not sure of the exact needs of those families or the local Habitat affiliate.
The Hood County Habitat for Humanity, as far as we know, have lost all their trailers, tools, everything that enables them to build houses. We're not certain yet if the affiliate in Hood County has been destroyed, but we're waiting to hear more on that information.
If you would like to make a monetary donation, you can drop it off at their main office at 2700 South Wilson or at the Restore here at 34th and Western. Live in the studio, Emily Griffin, News Channel 10.
Texas leaders have offered concern and support to the communities affected. Governor Rick Perry says he's deeply saddened by the deaths and that the State Operations Center continues to monitor the situation. U.S. Senator John Cornyn also offered condolences over the destruction and loss of life. Cornyn says all of Texas stands with those communities. Texas's other U.S. Senator Ted Cruz tweeted last night saying his thoughts and prayers are with those affected, their friends and family, and all the first responders.
Well, the hunt for a missing fugitive continues in our area.
Plus, new developments concerning the man accused in an Amarillo SWAT standoff. More on stories from around our area are coming up on the News at 6 here on News Channel 10.
We do have one hot forecast for you, but there's still a slight chance of rain in there. We'll look at that next.